All right, let's check the audio and be sure everything is working as it says it is. All right, it seems to be working just fine. Just a few things I want to talk about. It has been extremely busy after getting back from going to Florida for over a week. People start to want internet while I was there. So I had to get them on the list and order some equipment and everything, and pretty much got caught up now and set some um, upgrades that I want to do to the network and stuff. But you find all that on the other channel. But that has been keeping me from actually being live on Saturday and Sunday because of getting people some internet. But I found that when you retire, the only thing that really changes is you get a different title. You're no longer the boss. You're no longer the worker or anything like that. You still do things like myself. I still go out there and do physical things and generate a revenue. But the difference is it's not needed. I do it just to stay in physical shape. That saying that my parents always told me, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That pretty much goes for everything. It's like an old car. If you don't drive it, eventually something's going to seize up, and when you go out there and try to use it, it's not going to crank. And I don't want my body to be that way. And some people, I don't know why they say what they say, but they say, "Oh, you hadn't retired because you're still working." That's not how it works. Just because you're still doing physical things, don't mean you're actually working. Work means you're out there busting your butt to be compensated for financially so you can actually support yourself. Well, when you retire and you're doing things, regardless if it makes money or not, you're not doing it to survive financially. You're doing it to be staying healthy. Keep moving. I used to let that phrase to get to me. They say, "Oh, you're not retired." And I'm thinking, I am retired. You dummy. I mean, I've already thrown in the towel and I'm done. But they look at it like, as long as you're working, doing something, if it's making money, you're still working. I don't know if it's because they don't understand how it works or they're just jealous or just stupid. Don't know. It really don't matter to me anymore. I quit caring what other people thought and think of what I'm doing with my life. You don't worry about what others say about the title or titles that you carry after you retire or even before it's your life. I mean, because it's your life, it's not theirs. Everybody has a title. I have different titles. I got a title called brother. I got a title called a father, grandpa, a friend, many titles. The Wisp Ma'am, the internet guy. So many different ones. But you have to step back and think about, are you actually living, or just living? Are you living to work, or are you working to live? And there's a big difference. If you're living to work, means work is your life. But if you're working to live, means you're doing it because you need it to survive. It's part of your life. It's not your life. Don't let work be all your life is about. But the way this society is, majority of the people have been programmed to live our lives that way, as we are here not to live, but here to work. And people will work until they can't work anymore, to the last day that they are actually here. People say, oh, you don't retire until you're 65. But that's what the society and the government and all that has planned for you. They already planned out your life. Go to public school. Go to college. Get a degree. Get married. Buy a home. Have kids. Work yourself to death to pay for all of it. Two-car garage. It's programmed to keep you working until you can't get out of bed. Because the more you work, the more money that Sam makes. Don't go by the playbook, they say. Write your own playbook, your life. Because the government will take, say, 30% of what you do out there. You go out there and sweat and get up early in the morning, work late hours for giving the money to somebody else. And say you give 25% in taxes, you pay 25% of whatever you bring in to the tax man. Well, if you break that down, that means the first 3 or 4 months of the year is 25% of the year. Means the first 3 or 4 months of the year, you're doing nothing but working to pay taxes. I mean, we are taxed on everything. You get your state and federal tax out of your check. Then you go get gas tax. You go get food tax. I mean, everything you buy, you tax. So don't live your life as all it can be is work. Don't let them get you in the loop of nothing but work. Now, of course, if you 30, 40, or creeping up on 50 or past 50 and didn't make plans of be able to retire early and messed around and got yourself behind, bills piled up, you really don't have no choice but to work. But you can't blame anybody else on that one. And when I started doing work, my own company of heat and air, I didn't know if I can retire early. I thought I was going to be stuck in that financial playbook that so many of us has got stuck in. But I got blessed that I worked hard enough and put all my ducks in a row where they should be, and I was able to retire. I'm not the kind that will sit home and just watch movies all day. I can't do that. I got to be doing something with my hands. And I brought an RV and knew it had to be repaired. And I said, well, that'll keep me busy. Well, it wasn't keeping me busy enough. And then the internet, the wisp, got laid in my lap. I wasn't looking for it. But that keeps me busy. But still, even repairing the RV and installing internet, driving all over the United States, doing it, still not taking a lot of my time. Because after I install it, it takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes to install a client. And then the program just takes over and does everything else. It sends them an invoice. It takes the payment. Turns them off if they don't make the payment. Turns them back on when they do make the payment. So pretty much it's been taken out of my hands after I install it. The most thing that I've seen that comes along being retired is the advantage of being retired. You have no schedule. There's no push, and get this done, get that done, and get this done. And you got to get this customer. You got to get this. You got to be here. You got to do this and do that. You got to order this part. There's always a schedule. I don't have that anymore. I used to tell people I can get to you next Monday or Tuesday, or I can get to you tomorrow. Now I'd like, I'll put you on the books and get you next week. What day? Don't know. I take my time of getting everything done. I don't rush. I got a list, say 12 things to do. I'll take number 1, go do it. If it takes 1 hour, fine. If it takes 6 hours, that's fine. And then if I got enough time, I'll go jump to number 2 on the list that day. If not, I'll wait till the next day. I don't rush it. I'm just take my time to get it done. And it's very nice to be able to do that. And if you like to see how fiber is done and stuff, you can check that on the other channel. I got a lot of equipment now and fiber that I'm going to be doing in parks. Some parks I'm going to try to convert from wireless to fiber or both. Put some fiber in parks and still have wireless in there as well. You can check that out on the other channel. Just sitting here going through my notes of highlights of what I want to talk about. Things that I used to keep up with when I was still working. The news. What's happening in the news. More time I have been in the world of being retired, I seem to put the news, politics, and everything else on the back burner more and more and more. It's to the point now somebody asked me about something about the politics. Did you hear such thing? I have no clue what they're talking about because I haven't been watching. Because I'm too busy, not working, but too busy enjoying life. If I want to get up at 6, I get up at 6. If I want to get up at noon, I get up at noon. It was not easy of getting to where I'm at in life. I'd had my ups and downs. Believe me, that's where this channel came from. And when I was falsely accused, I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. because I have seen and heard so many people in the news that was incarcerated for decades, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and then found out that they were innocent. You can't get your life back. I didn't know where I was going to end up. I knew I was innocent. I knew what was going on, but I didn't know how somebody was going to try to twist it to get another notch in their grip of their pistol on their side. I didn't know where it was going. For the first 3, 4 months, honestly, it was scary as hell because I didn't know where it's going to end up or how long it's going to take to get there. But I knew that I didn't do what they falsely accused me of, and I wasn't going to satisfy them of pleading to anything else. They tried that. I never went to court for any of it. Never had a court date. I just sat there for all them 500 some days. But they tried to get me to plead to something less because they couldn't find any evidence. And they were trying their best to get me on something. I'm like, send me back to my room. I'm like, you wasted my time. I'm not going to confess to anything that I haven't done. They tried it 3 times. And I told them 3 times, go pile sand. Send me back to my room and bring me some coffee in the morning. I got a few books to read. That's one thing that they didn't realize is I got patience. As I keep telling people, I got more patience than a hospital. I can weigh them out. When I'm not guilty of something that somebody is accusing me of, regardless who it is, I'll outlast them every time. I'm not going to confess to something that I didn't do. I don't care how sweet in the pot you try to make it. I'm not going to have anything on my record. And people, say that when I got got out of there, well, when you going back to work? I thought about it. That them 500 some days, I had time to think about what I was going to do when I got out of there, because I was making plans to get out of there. Just didn't know when. But I knew that I was going to continue living my life as I see fit, not live in the big bubble that the world has laid on so many people, saying how they should live their life. The school, college, house, married, kids, 40 years of working and then retire to live what? 5 to 12 years after, if you can still get around. That's no life. That's not retirement. That's checkout. I made my own retirement plan. People say, well, you can't collect retirement until you're 60 or whatever. Well, I'm not relying on that. I've already put a savings and my own pension, if you want to put it, that I retired on. I made my own plan. Now, when I get to 62, 65, whatever the age is, by the time I get there, if they haven't changed it like they have in so many times in the past, yeah, I'll go ahead and collect it. That'll just be some more coffee money. I'm not going to retire when the world says it's time to retire. By the time the world says it's time to retire, I'll be on my second retirement by then. Because my retirement that I plan is going to be longer than the retirement plan that they have for me. I'm living a better life now since I retired because I don't have all the stress of getting certain things done in a certain time. I'm on my time. Stress is a health killer. The world has changed, and I have seen it in my lifetime. It's changed in so many different ways. And these, I have to say, AI is good. But these AI commercials, different commercials talking about different products, and everybody has the exact same voice. It's crazy. And AI, like I said, AI is good, but it's already started years ago making computer components prices go sky high, especially like memory and stuff. You're going to see inexpensive laptops and stuff start going up, $100 or $200 more. I mean, some memory that you can buy, like what 5, 6 years ago, DDR RAM 5 sticks that you can buy 5 years ago. Say it's $100, and now it's creeping up on 200, if not more, for the exact same chip. And one thing that kept me isolated as a introvert, I guess, is the terminology of nowadays, is I never went after high school. I never went to the reunions. I didn't go to graduation parties or stay in big groups like corporations. If I worked at a company, I wouldn't enjoy it because of big corporation meetings and stuff like that. I don't like big groups. I like being isolated. And that's why I was an entrepreneur, because I knew what was going on from top to bottom, because I was the one that's making decisions of whatever had to be done. And if I made a mistake, I couldn't blame nobody but myself. So that pushed me to not make a mistake. But I still make mistakes. Everybody does. Nobody's perfect. But I made the right decisions more than I made the mistakes, so I could live the life that I wanted and retire at 45. But I knew I was I was planning on retiring like 50. But somebody had a upper hand in it that said, nope, you need to do it a little bit sooner. You've been working yourself to death. Your family needs you. So I decided to retire at 45. I didn't know that before it was all over, said and done, that I was going to write a book, or I was going to be a ISP. But the revenue for them too is enough to sustain a living in the modern world of what the prices that we have today. And doing less work than I was when I'm doing heat and air. If I really wanted to escalate, really, and actually profit from any of it, I can turn up the volume at any time. But I really don't want to be bogged down and working again. I like my freedom. Like I wanted to go to Florida. Somebody on the internet was watching on the other channel down in Florida doing the same thing, internet. And I'm, in a way, I made a joke. I said, "Yeah, I'll come down there if you have me." And he said, he invited me right there in the live streaming. I couldn't pass that up. I enjoyed that whole time I was there. Have a new friend, got to travel, got away from home and everything, learned some new things, put my hands on working with fiber more than I ever have. I mean, I've done fiber in my life, but it was pretty much running fiber that's already been terminated when we actually got it on site. It was pre-made. But using a fuser to splice pigtails and stuff like that, or two pieces of fiber together, I've never done that before. But I watched enough videos, and I'm the kind that I'm a person that learns by watching. I can read a book, but unless I put my hands on it and actually do what the book says, pretty much I'm not going to be able to do it unless I put my hands on it. I learn better by visualizing, seeing it, and putting my hands on it. And that's what I did for that whole week. And now I got the equipment, and I've been splicing fiber right and left. I got it in a park now, and I'm trying to get more parks. Because some of the parks, trees are getting bloomed out more than they were when I actually started in that park. Smaller trees. So I'm going to have to relocate APs, or I told the owner that I'm going to have to run some fiber somewhere just so I don't have to worry about the trees. And most of them start to realize that, things are growing out. I'm like, if you don't trim them back, I'm just going to have to not be able to provide internet to certain ones in there because the trees are preventing it from happening. Pretty much I'm using that as leverage to get myself in there with fiber. But all in all, it needs to be done. It's not that I'm trying to get it done that it don't need to be. I'm trying to get ahead of the game before it becomes a problem, because nobody's been without internet because of the trees yet, but the software shows it's getting worse. But you can see all that on the other channel. And I honestly don't believe I will be where I am now as being retired and enjoying life, time with the grandkids anytime I want, travel anytime I want, if I stuck to the world's plan of how they say your life should be laid out and done. I'm only 60. I would still be working for the next 10 years. Because I'm glad I retired at 45, because honestly, it wasn't a happy life working all the time. I could not imagine for the last 45, 50, yeah, 15 years been working. For the first 2 or 3 years after I retired, I didn't do a thing. I piddled around the house, doing things to the house, and travel some, but it was just not all what I wanted. I wanted some kind of project or something that I can do that will occupy my time. And the good Lord decided to put the internet right in my lap. So that keeps some of my time. I couldn't see the future. None of us can. But the one that knew the future decided to intervene and show me that my life is getting ready to change. Because I was going to keep working until I got 50. But somebody else decided, said, no, you're not. So they put a big old wall in my way that just dead cold stopped me in my tracks for 500 some days. Everything happens for a reason. And that's why I was stuck there for 500 some days. Give me time to think and realize it's time for me to retire. And then they gave up and let me come home. I didn't have to try to rebuild the heating and air and all. I was retired. Of course, I had a few people that was still reaching out time to time, want me to go check a unit for the first year or for the rest of the year, because it was like February when I got out of there. For the rest of that year, I think it'd be 2012. I piddled a little bit here and there. But then shortly after, I decided just completely do away with it, sold everything. And I'm glad I did. I don't regret any of it. I had time in them days to sit back and think of all the time that I did work and all the the income that I had saved sitting there in the banks. I sat there and made a plan of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to retire, things that I'm going to change, get rid of, all the financial burdens and everything that I no longer need because it was all business related. Things like the apps and stuff to get you leads for heating and air and stuff. Websites. I mean, every little thing I was sitting there going through it, pen and paper. What can I chop down to the minimum, just enough stuff that I need to get by with and have an enjoyable life with the grandkids and all, and be able to travel. So the first half I was there, I was trying to figure out why I'm there, how could this happen, everything. And then the second half, I was pretty much like, well, this happened. I can't do nothing about it. I'm not going to confess to something that I haven't done. So what do I need to do? I need to make plans of what I'm going to do when I get out of here, because they don't have no evidence, because there's no evidence to find. So I started making plans of what I'm going to do when I walk out them doors. In 2013 on, I've been enjoying my life. Was it easy sitting there in 512 days? Hell no. Because I've heard so many terrifying stories of things that happen to people in there. that got convicted of something that they never did. And see it on the news that people got released 20, 30 years later because they found out that they were not guilty, found it was somebody else. But you can't give that time back. So you need to live your life every day as abundantly as you can and enjoy it. I mean, just the little things. Just relax. Yeah, you can go do your work, but have that family time, have that relaxed time. Go sit on the beach. That's one thing I can't do is sit on the beach. It's too daggone hot. People out there bathing in the sun. I'm like, I might as well just stick myself in an oven and close the door. I don't see how people can do it. I got to be under some kind of shade and got to be some wind blowing. But enjoy yourself with your family. I mean, just little things like I said, walking on the beach after the sun starts to go down, or go find some nature trails and go walking. Listen to the birds on a cool afternoon with a little brisk of wind. Stop and smell the roses, as another saying it goes. Because if you don't, it'll pass you by. Life is not easy. At times, mine was not easy. It still has hiccups every now and then, but I find ways to get through it. Nobody's life is perfect, but it's just as good as you make it, as you determine to make your life good. If you do things that you shouldn't do, or not doing things that you should do, say financially, if you don't do things that you're supposed to do, like pay your bills and go out there and mess around or whatever, and not work and get your bills paid and stuff, it'll catch up with you. And then you be stuck in that hamster wheel, round and round and round, doing nothing but work, and be playing nothing but catch up. So if you mess around for the first 20, 25, 30 years, and then try to fix it later, it's going to take you 20, 25, 30 years to fix that. And then you're going to be, 50, 60, and still haven't caught up yet. Nobody's going to be able to fix it for you. But you still got to enjoy life. Take the time, make the time to take time to get out there. Take them walks on the beach, take them walks in nature. Relax. Take a deep breath. Just get away from everything. And when you get back home, you get a new perspective and outlook on things, and start realizing how you can actually tackle whatever you got at hand that needs to be fixed. Life is too short. I know some people live 80, 90. My daddy lived 90 years old, but life is still short. But don't live in the big bubble that the world has said that you're supposed to live. Make your own life, your own path. Don't be a robot. It's no fun. I tried that for the first 4 years after I graduated high school. It was no fun being on a schedule. And believe me, they can put up a schedule on Monday, and you can come in on and you see that you had on Monday, you see that you got Saturday off. Great, you made plans on Monday or Tuesday. After you get to see your schedule on Monday afternoon, Tuesday you make plans with a friend or whatever for Saturday. Say go to the beach, and then you come in on Wednesday after you already made the plans, or Thursday, and you got to work on Saturday because they changed the schedule. That's not a life to live. I tried that, and I didn't go for it. They let me go on a few jobs. They said, well, we changed the schedule. We need you on Saturday. I say, well, you need to find somebody else because I'm not going to show up on Saturday when you tell me 1 or 2 days before Saturday, and you already 3 or 4 days before that, you already said that I was off on that day and didn't ask me if I made plans on, Saturday. I'm not here. I'm not living to work for you. I'm here to live, not live to work. I'm work to make a living. And there's other companies work Monday through Friday, and then there's a sign next to the clock that says everybody's mandatory to come in on tomorrow. I never showed up. They never let me go on that one, but I never showed up. Never got questioned, but I never showed up on that. I'm like, you crazy. Work all week, and then when I'm clocking out on Friday and you expect me to show up on next day and no announcement, no nothing? Not going to happen. And that's when I decided, forget this rat race and what the world says to do. I'm running my own business. I figured out what I wanted to do and went with it. And I'm glad I did. Life is not a bed of roses. You got to stop and smell the roses from time to time. Get out there and walk in nature and just get away from everything. Turn your phone on mute, turn it off. Just turn it off completely. Go out there for an hour or so and just walk and listen to the birds and maybe a rabbit or two and squirrels and maybe a deer, whatever. Just reconnect with nature. Just go out there and lay down and look up at the sky and look at the stars and the moon or whatever it may be. Forget about the world. Get into your own little world out there. Don't stress over every little thing there is in life. Not worth it. Thank you for coming by, and hopefully if things go right, I'll be here next week with another live podcast. No idea what I'll be talking about, but I get ideas throughout the week, things that people say, things that people do, things I see people doing that's still in that circus, rat race, big bubble that the world has told them that they have to live. Whatever it may be, I'll have some topics to talk about. Thank you, and I'll talk to you in the next podcast.